Rob, we've been feeding the dog. We've been talking. Are we ever going to record today's show? I mean, it's been an hour and a half.
Well, yeah, but, it takes me a while because of my condition.
Rob, you have a virus. You have,
no, the coronavirus is gone.
No, you have Yabbitt's disease.
Yabbitt's disease.
Welcome to Advanced Parallel Programming and the Law of Attraction. How to easily and effectively bring into alignment your thoughts, desires, beliefs, and actions, as well as create a positive parallel environment with those around you and the world as a whole. And now, broadcasting high atop the MacGuffin Towers in exciting Las Vegas, authors of the best-selling book, Advanced Parallel Programming and the Law of Attraction, Dr. Richard K. Nongard and R.J. Banks.
So, you say I have the Yabbitt's disease.
That's correct, Rob.
Well, yeah, but I have an excuse for that. I also have excusitis.
Excusitis. I haven't heard of excusitis.
You've never heard of excusitis?
A ton of people have Yabbitt's disease. They plan great things. They want to attract into their life abundance in every area. They want to have fantastic relationships. They want to drive magnificent cars. They want to have a lucrative career. They want to have a huge bank account. They want to have fine clothing and awesome friends. But anytime they have an opportunity, they're stopped by their own thinking when they say, yeah, but I can't.
Isn't that amazing?
Tons of people do that.
You and I are both, we've both kind of lived our life with that, I'm not going to let anything hold me back type of attitude. But unfortunately, there are so many people out there that have been programmed that they cannot accomplish different things because of what they're you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. You're not pretty enough.
Or you don't live in the right place, or it's not the right time.
So we kind of learn just through that programming that it's easy to blame everything else on blame our successes or our failures on somebody or something else.
I think it is true that sometimes the world is a difficult and a rough place, an unforgiving place in some ways. But the reality is that we always have the opportunity to live our best life, and we're the ones who create that life. And what we want to do in this show, and hopefully we've done in the previous episodes, is actually give you some real actionable strategies that are truly helpful.
There are so many people throughout our history, and I have a list. I want to go through them real quick, because these people, they refused to listen, and they have vaccinated themselves, I guess, against the Yabbitt's disease, such as like people like Walt Disney. Well, everybody knows who Walt Disney is. He was fired from, I think it was the Tulsa, Oklahoma newspaper.
He was fired for being a bad cartoonist.
Yeah, he was not, and he had no creativity, is what they were telling him, so they fired him. Oprah Winfrey was another one. She was a news reporter in, I don't know what.
She was a news reporter in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, and they fired her.
Yeah. I got fired once. I got fired from my job as a waiter because I was no good at it. I was too slow. The tables complained.
People are told that. J.K. Rowling, remember she wrote the.
She wrote the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, and they told her that she wasn't any good.
The list is almost endless, Madonna.
And then you go into the music business. God, I mean, that entertainment is, you talk about going through rejection after rejection after rejection, but it's that resilience that keeps you going. But those are the people...
Whether you love Madonna or not, here's the fascinating thing. She was rejected. She was not appreciated. Mm-hmm. And in the world of music, there's a lot of one-hit wonders. Whether you love or you don't love Madonna's music, the reality is she's built a sustaining career over the last 40 years.
And she kicks butt. And, there is, you're talking about the challenges and the difficulties of life, which there are challenges, and we all go through that. The law of attraction does not grant you a life of no resistance. You're always going to have resistance. You're going to have challenges.
Well, I think life without that would be boring.
It would. But you know what I found is instead of what I found a lot of people's frustrations and where the Yabbitt's disease comes from.
By the way, you keep calling it Yabbitt's disease, and that reminds me of my favorite joke.
Oh, what's that?
What's the difference between Abu Dhabi and Dubai?
I don't know.
The people in Dubai don't watch the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do. It's my favorite joke. All right, go on. You had something important to
I
say.
don't remember what I was saying. No, what I was saying is with all these challenges in life, you know, I mean, life is life. Life is life. That's a good song. But, you know what? One thing I learned years ago is that, you know, because I had the Yabbitt's for a long time, and I found myself exhausted, but then I had a very wise, what's that turtle?
Master Oogway.
Master Oogway.
I'm always quoting Master
Yeah.
Oogway, who is the turtle in Kung Fu Panda.
But he taught me, he said, young Robbie-san, you need to row your boat gently down the stream. Don't try to fight the current. I mean, and I'm not saying if you take that to life, I mean, to me, this is the secret to a happy life. We were taught in a song in kindergarten, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. But you can take that, and I look at it, and I'm, you know, in my mind, I'm sitting here trying to row upstream. The current's still going to take you downstream.
Right.
So all you're doing is just frustrating and exhausting yourself. But if you turn the boat around and you start using your oars to guide yourself gently down the stream to avoid the rocks and the waterfalls and all that kind of stuff, it makes life so much more fun.
And this is why I think that I found my greatest joys and my greatest accomplishments in the midst of my greatest difficulties.
Exactly. It's the flow, the magic of life. It's the thing that keeps us going. And that's one thing, like I was saying, sorry, I'm just having a little bit of a brain day today. So,
That's okay.
So I get to.
We're patient, Rob.
I still get.
We're
like I
not.
say,
We're not going anywhere for 28 more days.
I know that was a little excuse, and I'm not saying but okay, but I will say yeah. I might be stammering right now because I have a little bit of a brain issue. But I'm still going to get through this show, and I'm still going to tell you what I'm going to tell you.
There you go. Well, tell it to me, Rob.
So. It's the flow. No, I already said that. What was I going to say? Oh, this is something that we kind of need to teach ourselves to do, is to turn around and row our boat gently down the stream and to stop doing the Yabbitt's thing, because it's all, you know what the secret of it is?
What?
Allowing.
You know, there's actually an acronym for the word allow. The acronym is A, awaken, L, live confidently, the second L, because it's a double L, love yourself. And I think a lot of people really struggle with self-love. We can probably do a whole show on that. And then O is on guard for negative language. I think we have a lot of negative self-talk. And the W is win. Because when we allow ourselves to overcome Yabbitt's disease, we walk out a winner.
Yeah, we do. And that also affects everyone around you. Because when you're throwing out the Yabbitt's and all that kind of stuff, other people, it just puts that whole negative vibe on everything. So that's why when you get away from that and you allow yourself to be creative, allow yourself to do or be whatever you want to be. To me, I call it the secret to manifesting, the secret to happiness, fulfilling desires, and being an inspiration for others is just allow yourself to be free like that.
You know, we should do a little meditation that gives us permission.
I think that's a perfect idea.
You know, it seems like allowing ourselves to do something requires that we give ourselves permission. Often we're hard on ourselves. We don't give ourselves permission to reach our highest level of performance in many different areas of life. We don't give ourselves permission to achieve our dreams vocationally.
And that, you know, I have also learned, and notice, and it's something that we did talk about in one of the other shows, is we get programmed from the outside to where I feel good about myself, but then I have a teacher or a sibling or even a parent. It's like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You're never going to be able to achieve that. If you start listening to that, that will really
and that's why
bring
we
you right
need to
in.
give ourselves permission to overcome those limiting beliefs which others might have shared with us. So let's take a moment here, Rob. We have plenty of time today to just take the next 2 minutes and practice a simple meditation technique for allowing ourselves to give ourselves permission to step into abundance. So, of course, again, as long as you're not driving a car right now, close your eyes down and sit in the chair where you're sitting and take in a breath. And when you take in that breath, just be present. The good thing about taking a breath and paying attention to the breath is that by doing so, you're setting aside any regrets of yesterday. And I think a lot of yabbits are often held onto by the previous experiences we've had, those regrets or those missed opportunities. But when we pay attention to the breath and we're fully in this moment, the past is exactly that, it's past. And in this moment, without worrying about the anxieties of the future and what the world will bring, we can pay attention to the breath, and by breathing in and breathing out, you can give yourself permission to live your best life. Breathe in, breathe out. Say to yourself, I am living my best life. I am living my best life. I am living my best life. In fact, let a smile come on your face. And as that smile comes on your face, take in a breath and feel energized from that and say to yourself again, I am living my best life. I am living my best life. And now open your eyes. Notice the smile on your face. Notice the feeling of empowerment. And Rob, I did something really important in that affirmation. It's not I will be living my best life. It's I am living my best life.
Exactly.
And the reason why is, I was on Facebook today, and there's all kinds of people pontificating about what the future is going to be like. We're in a tumultuous time right now, and people are all over Facebook predicting, doom and gloom or the future. And so I made a meme. I created a meme. I found a picture of a crystal ball, and I said, right now a lot of people are pontificating the future right now, when in fact all they actually have is right now. It's really important for us to recognize that right now we can be living our best life. It can begin in this moment. It's not something we have to wait to have happen to us. We actually don't have to wait for good things, for prosperity, for health, for happiness, for a good life. We don't have to wait until quarantine periods are over or until an economy comes back. Right now, right in this chair, we have the full potential and ability to live our best life, which is why we can say that affirmation, I am living my best life. I am living my best life. I am living my best life, because the only life I have is this life right now.
And everything, all of this, and we talk about this quite often, how the outside world, yes, it can have an effect on us, but our saying, we aren't attracted into our lives what we choose to think, say, and believe about ourselves and our perceived reality. And this is exactly what you're talking about. You can choose. So the cures that we say, the cures for the Yabbutt's disease, are what you were just saying. Affirmations are so important, and I am affirmations, because that puts you in that present moment.
Well, and the reason why they're important is we have 50,000 thoughts a day.
Yep.
What this really is 50,000 times that we talk to ourselves each day. And we do that most often mindlessly. We don't intentionally choose to talk to ourselves. And an affirmation is reversal of that. It's an opportunity to, with intention, speak to ourselves, to give ourselves permission to live our best life.
I chuckle sometimes because, in our line of business, we show people how to reprogram their self, basically through hypnosis, through affirmations, meditations, stuff like that. And there, at the beginning, there's so many people that, and this is the part that I chuckle about, where they say, well, you're brainwashing me, or, I don't want to be brainwashed. It's like, how many hours a day do you watch TV or listen to radio or drive down the street or on the internet? You are being brainwashed. Do you know how many times people are in front of advertising.
How many?
On the average, I think what was it, like 12 to 15? No, it wasn't 1,000.
I don't know, but there's a lot
It's
of
like
messages.
1,200, 1,500 times a day. You're being brainwashed and programmed. A lot of subliminal programming you don't even know about. So don't be afraid to reprogram and brainwash yourself with good, positive, wholesome affirmations that you can create yourself or you can get from us.
Well, and the outcome is, even if we say an affirmation that we don't believe, the mind attends to that idea. And what the mind attends to, it eventually considers. And it sort of says, yeah, I wonder if that's possible. And it'll test it. We'll test it to find out. And the outcome of affirmations, even if they're affirmations that in the short run we don't believe, is that we end up stepping into abundance and actually experiencing the truth of those affirmations.
You know, if you have a bit of a hard time at first accepting that in your conscious brain, you say, I am, and then fill in the blank with whatever it is that you desire. And if you're subconscious, you're pushing back saying, I know I'm not that. I know I'm not. Well, why am I trying to trick myself? And if that really bothers you that much, you don't have to say, I am the
King of the earth.
King of the earth. You can say, I am willing to be king of the earth, or I am working towards becoming so you're keeping it current, keeping it positive, then you're keeping it in present. You're not saying, I'm going to someday be the king of the world, or I'm going to do this, or whatever it is that.
Yeah, and that
that
was
you
kind of
desire.
a dumb example that I threw out, king of the world, but
I am the king.
right. But in some ways I can be in charge of my own
are the
direction.
king of your kingdom.
I'm the king of my kingdom. That's right. I can be in charge of the choices. I can give myself permission to enjoy life. And one of my favorite affirmations is simply, I am giving myself permission. I am giving myself permission. I am giving myself permission to live better. I am giving myself permission to love myself. I'm giving myself permission to enjoy myself. A lot of people feel guilty about enjoying themselves. They don't believe they deserve good things because maybe they have done bad things. When I worked in the prison system, I had folks on my caseload who did bad things. And a lot of them had a hard time transcending that and making significant changes because they wanted to self-flagellate and punish themselves for the things that they had previously done. Now, there were a lot of people who had no guilt, but guilt is actually a good thing. It lets us know that we're a human doing, not a human being. And
I like that.
And to move forward in life.
It whatever, the way I look at it is like whatever works for you to keep yourself on a high vibrational plane. And it's all about, it's your mind, it's your world, your life. Be creative. Open up those creative juices. And I have to read this thing to you because...
Go ahead, Rob.
You know who Scott Adams is?
Scott Adams is the author of Dilbert.
Yep. Okay, I have a quote from him.
Scott, I want to throw this out.
Okay.
Scott Adams, in his last book, actually referenced one of my books.
Oh, did he really?
Kind of nice.
Oh, cool.
Well, it was sort of nice, but it was a political book, and I'd rather not be associated with any of the political positions.
So his quote on creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which one to keep.
There you go.
That's great.
That is
But
really
the point
a great
is, stay
quote.
on a high vibrational plane and stay creative. Use whatever creative ways that you have to take in order to stay on that high vibrational plane, stay away from the Yabas disease. I grew up in California, and being in California, growing out there, I grew up on the ocean, and we do surfing. And I know I've used surfing in books and...
You need to dub in a little surfing music here while you tell this.
Okay. Hang on. Let me hit the button here. All right. There we go. I got to hang out with the Beach Boys. I got to go over to
For those of you who don't know, Rob was a professional musician who actually performed on a number of albums and with some of the top acts in the world. So pretty cool.
Oh, gee, thanks. But no, when I was I lived in Santa Barbara, I was a radio DJ in Santa Barbara, and and Mike Love and Bruce Johnson both live over there. And we did when that Kokomo thing came out, we did a big promotion with them. Anyway, I wound up being friends, wound up going over to Mike Love's house, who lives on the Mesa, and it's just like I'm sitting there downstairs. He's got a studio that is all glass that overlooks the ocean, and I'm sitting there, and I'm freaking out in my mind because I'm sitting here. I mean, I've played with Warrant and Poison, Motley Crue, a little bit with Aerosmith, not live at one of their concerts, but I'm sitting here, and now, because I grew up when I was a kid, you talk about visualization.
You listened to the Beach Boys.
When I grew up in front of a mirror with a fake microphone and a guitar with no strings on it and my record player playing the Beach Boys. And I would do this saying, one of these days, this is how I became a professional in the internet. Right, because this is what my desire was and I focused on. But anyway, I'm sitting there. I get invited over to Mike's house. I'm sitting there in the studio jamming with Bruce Johnson, Mike Love, and guess who comes popping in to play drums? Is John Stamos. And now I'm just sitting here with a proverbial or metaphorical musician's Woody.
Right.
So I said, I'm sitting here. But anyway, the point that I'm making was going back to the surfing thing. Turn the music back on. There we go. Is I look at when you surf, now I know on TV and stuff, if you've never been surfing, you see the guy paddle to catch the wave and ride the wave in. You don't see what it takes to get out there. There are waves coming in that you have to push past these waves, and you have to make your way, have the confidence that I'm going to get through these, and once you get through them, then you get out and you ride that wave in. So I've always kind of used that as my metaphoric journey in life. You're going to run into waves, they're going to come up, but you just have to push through them. Don't allow them to push you back onto the beach. And it's like, well, what are you doing here on the beach? Well, I was going to go surfing, and then that's where the yabbits can. It's like, yeah, but the waves are too hard to get out right now. It's like, well, okay, that's your thing. But anyway, the point that I'm making is resilience is the key.
Absolutely.
And having that pushback from the waves, that really does teach you to kind of hone in, discipline yourself, and make the choice that I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go out there, and once you do, the reward is amazing, and it's the same thing as life. So that is your cure for the Yabbits disease.
And if you tune in, same channel, same place, same time, next week, you'll have another outstanding edition of the 365 LOA podcast. You can find us at 365LOA.com. Lots of free resources for you on that webpage. And you can also get our book on Amazon.com. And you can visit us at Law of Attraction Affirmations on Facebook. And we would love to hear from you. Please send us a message. Let us know you're listening.
Us. Whatever, let us know.
Let us know what you need.
Even say, hey, dudes, talk about this for a little bit. We want to know about that. Give us something like that. Anyway, we got to get out of here.
I'm Dr. Richard Nongard,
and I'm RJ Banks. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to 365 LOA with Dr. Richard Nongard and RJ Banks. For additional information, including free downloads, or to send them an email, visit 365LOA.com. That's 365LOA.com.